Welcome back. In the world of AI, there's a huge difference between looking good and actually being good. So today, we're going to dig into why just managing perception isn't going to cut it anymore, and how to build the kind of authentic, verifiable credibility that really, truly matters. Let's dive in. All right, before we jump in, we've got to do our standard disclaimer. Just so you know, this is part 9 of our 10-part overview, and it's all based on the fantastic research report from Virtualization Options LLC called How Investors, Regulators, and Business Partners Often Review an Organization's AI Initiatives. Now, these explainers just scratch the surface of what's in the full report, and of course, this isn't legal or financial advice and comes with no warranty. Okay, let's kick things off with a really pointed question for all the leaders out there. Seriously, take a hard look at your AI marketing, your press releases, all those big presentations at conferences. Are they actually building value? Or are you, maybe without even realizing it, creating this huge credibility gap? A gap that could put your whole organization at serious risk. It's something we really have to think about today. And here's why that question is so critical. The rules of the game have completely changed. We are now in what you could call a transparency revolution. The old playbook of just managing perception, well, it's a failing strategy. You've got these really savvy stakeholders, from investors to your biggest customers, and they have the tools to see right through the marketing fluff.
This slide really shows the power shift. It used to be that companies totally controlled the story with their slick websites and carefully crafted press releases. But now, in this new reality, the real truth is out there, totally unfiltered. Stakeholders are doing their own deep dives. They're reading what your employees really think on Glassdoor. They're analyzing your code on GitHub, and they're combing through every single regulatory filing. That's where they find the ground truth.
And if there's a disconnect between what you're saying and what's really happening, wow, the cost is just staggering. The report points out that companies with weak governance to back up their claims could be looking at a 35% hit to their valuation. Think about this. 2/3 of your enterprise customers could just walk away after they do their own homework. And you could see almost 1/4 of your executives leave after a big deal falls through because of these gaps. The risk is incredibly real. So what's the takeaway here? It's that the only strategy that actually works long-term is to stop focusing on perception and start focusing on substance. It's all about building a foundation of authentic credibility, one that can actually stand up to the intense scrutiny of this new, transparent world. And this quote from the report just nails it, right? Authentic credibility stems from operational substance rather than communication sophistication. You just can't talk your way into being credible anymore. You have to build it brick by brick. True credibility is built in the trenches, in your data centers, in your governance meetings, not cooked up in the marketing department. So what is this thing we're actually aiming for? It's called authentic AI credibility. And it's pretty simple, really. It's that moment when what you say on the outside perfectly matches what you're actually doing on the inside. Your governance, your tech, your culture, it all lines up. And your great reputation, it just becomes the natural result of being excellent at what you do. Okay, sounds great, but how do you actually get there? Well, the report gives us a really clear, actionable roadmap. And this isn't about some quick PR fix. It's a deliberate process for laying the groundwork for real, unshakable trust. So let's break down the first 3 steps. This is all about building from the inside out. First things first, you've got to build that foundation of substance. That means real investment in governance, solid infrastructure, and a responsible culture. Next up, you document everything. I mean everything. You make your excellence visible and auditable. And third, you get transparent. You start openly sharing your frameworks, even the lessons you've learned the hard way. This builds trust before anyone even has to ask. All right, so once that internal foundation is rock solid, then you can start looking outward. You move into the next phase, which is all about proving and amplifying that credibility you've worked so hard to build. So here's how you finish the job. Step 4 is all about validation. You literally open the doors and invite people to check your work because you're confident in what they'll find. Then, step 5, you go get that third-party stamp of approval from certification or standards bodies. And the final piece, and this one is huge, is advocacy. You build such a great place to work that your own employees become your most believable and passionate champions. And when you do all this, when you follow this roadmap, something really powerful starts to happen. Authentic credibility stops being this defensive thing you have to do. It actually becomes your secret weapon, a massive strategic advantage. And just look at the payoff here. The advantages are real and they are durable. You can command trust premiums. That means customers will happily pay more because they know you're the real deal. You become a magnet for the best talent out there. You get better deals from investors. And maybe the most important thing, when a crisis hits, and it will, you'll be the one left standing while your competitors who cut corners get absolutely devastated.
So when these savvy investors and partners are doing their homework, what are they really looking for? These are the positive signals that build genuine confidence. They want to see that your governance is actually integrated into how you work, not just some dusty binder on a shelf. They want to see that your leaders actually get the technology, that you're balancing innovation and risk, investing in real infrastructure, and fostering a culture where people feel safe to speak up. These are the hallmarks of a truly credible company.
So, to bring it all home, the choice for leaders today is completely different than it used to be. This isn't about perception versus reality anymore. It's about building a reality that's so solid, so authentic, that a great perception is just the natural, inevitable result. And that really leaves us with one final critical question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own organization's AI initiatives. Are you spending all your time and money building a perception that's as fragile as a house of cards? Or are you building a durable, authentic advantage that will actually win in the long run? The choice is yours.